wake up and think, no. Just no. Not today, Satan. Welcome back to Answers from the Kitchen Floor. I'm your host. This week's episode is brought to you by chronic headaches. What's a little pain, right? What's a little pain? As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Claude. Face the camera, Claude. Bonjour. If you hear cackling, I have the tea kettle on because issues. And my head hurts. Nothing cures a bad headache like the dehydrating substance known as caffeine. Hold that thought. Where are my host cards? Today's question is actually quite culturally relevant. Chris from Albuquerque wants to know what our opinion is about Stranger Things 2. What do you have to say about that, Claude? I'm gonna level up with you, Chris from Albuquerque. When Stranger Things first came on the scene, I gave it a whirl. I only made it to about 4 episodes because, I don't know, I mean, it wasn't really my genre. I didn't really find it that, I don't know, interesting. But because the world is losing its collective shit over it, I thought I would give it another try with the coming of season 2. And thus I did, Chris. Thus I did. I have now watched both seasons 1 and 2, and I have some thoughts. First of all, I would just like to say, well done. And next I would like to say, poor Will. As soon as he started hacking up worms and the arcade started flickering, I was just like, leave Billy alone! I mean, hasn't he been through enough? Really. I love Winona Ryder's character in this. I love seeing her on screen again. It's been a while. Or I'm just really out of the loop. But the way she overpronounces S's really gets on my nerves. What are you saying? Are you saying that Will is not safe? The show captured the 80s feel very well, which I don't actually know because I wasn't alive. 1990s Club, everybody! The upside down is now my new favorite word for everything that goes wrong. Got a bad case of the upside down. I woke up in the upside down. Girl, she's so ratchet you'd think she was from the upside down. I think that the upside down is a very accurate representation of America. Of America? What do you mean? I mean that it is a wasteland full of man-eating monsters. Full of man-eating monsters? Accurate. I'd be careful, Claude. We've deported people for less. The appearance of Samwise Gamgee was a little surprising. Even more surprising that he started sucking face with Winona Ryder like his first scene in the show. Sam! No, but really good to see you, Sean Astin. Where you been, bro? This bump. I don't know what kind of deal Ego has with Netflix, but they're really cashing in because I, with the rest of the world, am so craving waffles right now. And can we talk about the name Finn Wolfhard for a second? I mean, how could he not grow up to be awesome with a name like that? I couldn't help but think that if this had all transpired in the modern time, Mr. Clark's role would have been entirely obsolete. You want to know how to build a sensory deprivation tank? Google. In fact, you want to learn pretty much anything? Google that ish. This would have been a completely different story if it were taking place now with cell phones and GPS and the internet and everything else. I don't know. Another thing that I felt the keen loss of was, man, I miss riding my bike around all over creation. I don't know if that's still a thing. Sometimes I think that my generation was the last generation to be able to do that. But I would just go for hours at a time. I didn't tell anyone where I was. And we lived in like the mountains too, where like I could have been eaten by like a bear. But I just took my little neon green and purple bike and just rode all over the damn place. I miss that though. Can I just say that the cynical black kid is my aesthetic? Every 5 seconds he's like, no, prove it. I don't think so. Kill her. Kick her out. He's definitely gonna be a scientist when he grows up. Joyce trying to figure out the little video camera tape is all of us. That Billy kid, genuinely terrifying. Like you could just see in his eyes, they could just go crazy. He terrified me more than almost anything else in the show. Damn, those kids are good actors. I just kept thinking, damn, those kids are good actors. Poor Bob. Can we just, poor Bob. Sam! Though I will say from the moment he entered, I kind of knew he was gonna be this throwaway guy. I mean, we all have a Bob we could kill. But really, you know, in my experience, it takes like 4 to 5 episodes to really get into a show and see what it's all about most of the time. Which is why you should watch a couple more episodes of Answers from the Kitchen Floor, because you might find your new favorite thing. And then you could subscribe and never miss an episode. Ever again. For the rest of your life. or the rest of my life. Though I'm sure Claude would you look at the camera? I'm sure Claude would be very happy to take over primary host duties in the event of my ultimate demise, right, Claude? You are sweating so much. Can we just, you are disgusting! Overall, I will say that the show is a very well done show. Season 2, in my opinion, was better than Season 1 because the villain was so much bigger and the threat to me felt so much more real. One of the reasons I lost interest in Season 1 is the threat didn't seem all of that big to me. You know, it was the Demogorgon or whatever, and it's like, oh, monster. But this time, not only did we have Billy the Psycho in the real world, but we had this huge, terrifying shadow monster to deal with. And the fact that Will, poor sweet little Will, you know, he's so small and little and sweet, having to be the host for this terrifying thing. Wow. Oftentimes, like, really good shows can really derail in the 3rd season. Like, this is something I've seen time and time again. A show that is amazing, the 3rd season makes or breaks it. It really does. So I don't know how they're gonna top this in the 3rd season. I mean, I have faith in you though, Duffer Brothers. I have faith. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and if you have something you'd like Claude and I to review, or a question you would like answered from the kitchen floor, leave it in the comments below, give us a big thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye!